now available in paperback and e-readers. Spellbound, a darker shade of black. Get your copy today at your favorite online bookseller. I got directed to a link to this Two Dope Queens, which is coming out on HBO. And it's really sad to see that here in 2018 we have these two Afro-American mammies sitting there putting on a minstrel show and talking about its comedy. Now, if you take a look at this trailer is mind-boggling, disturbing, yet par for the course when it comes down to this Afro-American Negro female and how deeply dysfunctional she truly is.
In the history of queening.
What an amazing idea to have your own special on HBO.
This is what our ancestors fought for.
Harriet Tubman.
This is for you, Sojourner.
Now, in the opening scene of this teaser trailer, you have these two dope queens, and they're sitting there talking about this is what their ancestors fought for. And it's really disturbing to see them make this kind of joke, where you have one of these Afro-American Negro females sitting up there with a blonde wig on her head and a crown on, and then the other one sitting there with this big natural hairstyle and sitting there talking about this is what our ancestors fought for. So our ancestors sat there and fought for us to have you be up on a stage and be a literal mockery of everything that they fought for and present stereotypes that are reflective of white supremacists of the time. This is supposed to be comedy, you breathing brand new life into old stereotypes regarding black women. Because that's what we see on this stage right now. We see two Afro-American Negro mammies sitting there promoting white supremacy on a grand stage, making a complete mockery of the image of black women, and then they sit there and throw a middle finger up at all black women by saying, Harriet Tubman, this one is for you, and Sojourner Truth, this one is for you. That's a slap in the face to those two black women who fought and died so that black women could have dignity and self-respect and made efforts to improve the quality of life for black women. But this is par for the course for the modern-day dysfunctional Afro-American Negro female who thinks that it's okay to make light of those struggles and think that this is some sort of comedy, when what the real comedy is that she doesn't see that she is being laughed at and not laughed with. And she doesn't understand what comedy is, because comedy is creating a situation where everybody can laugh about the situation and not at the person or make a mockery of people like these two dope idiots are making a mockery of. Now, I wonder where is the outrage when it comes down to these two dope minstrels, because a lot of people got upset a couple of years ago when Russell Simmons went out and disrespected the legacy of Harriet Tubman. But I wonder if they're going to have the same outrage now that you have these two Afro-American Negro mammies up here making a mockery of one of our great black icons in this teaser trailer and believing that it is some sort of comedy. I look at the way these females have presented themselves, and again, it is an insult to watch these two Negro females literally present an image of self-hatred and self-degradation on screen in this teaser trailer. If this is the teaser, then I really don't see a lot of comedy here in this minstrel show that any black person could laugh at, because this is a minstrel show designed to make white people feel comfortable about the black people they believe that we are and not who we really are. This is just comedy for racist and white supremacists to get a laugh at black women, not laugh with us about situations that everyone goes through. This is a complete insult to black women, and there should be real outrage regarding it. Now I'm going to continue going through this teaser because there's a lot more dysfunction in this teaser for you to take a look at, because these dope queens are nothing more than a group of minstrels, and you need to really take a more critical look at their dysfunction in order to understand it. Now later on in this teaser, you have this butler come out with this tiara for the other so-called dope queen.
Dopest of queens. Hey, Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. You can't touch my hair. You know that. Philip, you know that. That was like black on black crime.
And she stops the butler and tells him that he couldn't touch her hair. And this is really disturbing because if you take a look at this comedian's so called history, both of these women have gone on record talking about white men. And they've made jokes about how white men could go out of their way to comb their hair and had trouble combing their hair. So they're saying that it's not right for a black man to touch their hair, but it's no problem for a white man to touch their hair. So this whole bit here again shows me how these black females deify and worship the white man. Moreover, they go out of their way to emasculate and degrade the black man by placing him in a submissive role as a butler. They have him up there and they talk about him approaching their hair is like some sort of black on black crime. And that's not funny at all. You're sitting there saying that touching a black woman's hair is like a black on black crime, but it's okay for this white man who you deify and worship to touch your hair and go near your hair. And this is supposed to be funny to black people. And all they're doing, again, is breathing brand new life into old stereotypes. This is nothing more than another minstrel show in the same way that Amos and Andy was a minstrel show. Unfortunately, in this 2018, there is no outrage about these two dope minstrels putting on this minstrel show in the same way that there was next to no outrage when ABC presented that minstrel show known as The Mayor back in September. Now, with The Mayor, you had a complete insult to black men by saying that this black male was so stupid that he would go out here and run for mayor in order to promote a rap record. And this was supposed to be considered a joke. And what's really the saddest part about this joke is that these Afro American Negroes, like this two dope minstrels, and the producers of that minstrel show, The Mayor, are all black. And they can't see that the people who were greenlighting their projects are greenlighting them so that they could laugh at them and not with them. And the sad part is that they think that they are making light of themselves, but what they're really doing is making black people look bad overall, and they're willing to self-deprecate in order to receive attention and approval from the white men that they deify and worship, and they're willing to sacrifice intangibles related to their dignity and self-respect in order to get attention and approval from white people. These are what's really disturbing about these people is that they would rather be laughed at than create a comedy that everyone can laugh with, in the same way that Bill Cosby made The Cosby Show. Now, The Cosby Show was a comedy where we laughed at the situations that Bill Cosby was in as a father and as a doctor and in his own personal life from his own personal experiences. But these Negroes did not learn from shows like The Cosby Show how to craft great humor. Instead of making humor everyone can laugh at the situation regarding, these people would rather degrade themselves in order to get a cheap laugh from racist and white supremacists. Because only a racist or a white supremacist can sit there and watch this two dope queens literally make a mockery of black people, make a mockery of black culture, and literally make a mockery of black history in the way that they did, taking a middle finger and pointing it right directly in the face of Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth, sitting there putting a butler up there talking about this is supposed to be funny, and then making light of black on black crime, and not understanding these are serious issues for many people. They're not something people want to be laughed at. And it's really troubling, the response from the black community, because when it comes down to many of these Afro-American Negroes, like these POTEPs and these pro-blacks, where is their outrage? Because this is a slap in the face to all black people. You would think they would be out here mounting a protest against this, but because it's this Afro-American Negro female making this type of comedy, they'll all give it a pass instead of holding these females to accountability. For them to get on HBO and broadcast this as comedy, this is something we as black people need to come together and hold these type of females accountable for. Unfortunately, all these hoteps and pro-blacks, they're not going to do something like me and make a video calling this stuff out and presenting you with why this is offensive, because they don't have the courage or the backbone or the stones to confront females like this and hold them to a higher standard. Now, I'm a guy who has written comedy in the past, and I put comedy in many of my stories. And I know how to get people to get a laugh, and I laugh with me regarding the situations I put characters in, and not make fun of a person. I have literally written comedies like All About Nikki and Spinsterella, and I have made gotten great laughs from readers by just putting characters in situations everyone can relate to, because I understand that comedy is something that's supposed to bring people together in hard times, and it's supposed to be something that's supposed to give you a laugh where you're laughing at a situation that people are in and not laughing at people and making fun of people for being who they are. These two mammies are making fun of black women for being who they are and not making us laugh with us about situations black women involve themselves in. This comedy, so-called comedy special, is a complete insult to black women, and the sad part is that most of the black community will sit there and give this minstrel show a pass and not really take a critical look at it and see how it totally degrades the image of all African American people, because having this series of comedy specials on HBO is a complete loss for the black community, because it continues to further drive us down a slippery slope where we see the black race in decline. 30 years ago, we would have a group of black people coming out to protest these females and hold them to a higher standard, because we wanted to elevate ourselves to a higher standard in terms of comedy, in terms of art, in terms of literature. We wanted to do better. And what I'm seeing now from this generation is they would rather drive the race into the gutter for the sake of a couple of laughs from white people, because everything presented here is what a white supremacist would present in a minstrel show. This is all, well, they would present to make fun of us and make light of us as people. And what's sad is we have black people producing stuff like this, and they're thinking it's okay, not understanding how they tarnish the image of black people for the rest of the world to see. Because when people look at images like this and see us degrading ourselves, what that sends a message to them is we don't have to value you as a person. We don't have to value black people because black people don't value black people. And if black people are going to degrade themselves, then it's okay for us to degrade them. That's the message that these two dope minstrels are sending to the world, and they don't understand how this reflects badly on black people. Again, I write comedy and I can get laughs without doing things like this, and I can make commentary on the culture without doing stuff like this. And what's really sad is HBO will give these two dope minstrels a comedy special, but they won't even take a look at a guy like me who will go out of his way to really give people the type of comedy everyone can relate to and identify with, and see black people as people and not caricaturized images like these two dope minstrels are. When I look at these two dope queens, I don't see queens. I see mammies who are modern day minstrels who, instead of putting on blackface, just have black skin. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to try some of my SJS Direct comedies, like All About Nikki the Fabulous First Season or Spinsterella, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.